Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
I love Jennifer's question, but it's got a lot of asterisks in it. So how do we know when it's time for ABA to be over? My 6-year-old has mastered almost all of the VB-MAP testing, and we are talking about graduating her from ABA, but I'm afraid of that change. As you just discussed, our BCBA has told us to continue parent training for the remaining behaviors and to look into social skills or other group activities because these would be more helpful than one-on-one adult therapy. How exciting is that?
That's very good. So congratulations, Jennifer. That's wonderful. There are different ways, I guess, to look at ending ABA. And I don't think you ever really end ABA. I think you continue doing that throughout life. But let's say in order to end formal provider at ABA, right? So it depends on what your initial goal was. I guess I'll start with that. When I'm working with young children, my initial goal is so broad, it's so comprehensive that I have to do a whole ton of testing before I'm ready to let them go. Like one of my cutest, most favorite kids that I love. I just love seeing this child. He brings me joy. He's pretty much done, but we just did a ton of testing on him, and a couple of things came up which we would not have noticed, and they had to do with like working memory and being able to shift attention fast and those types of things. And so we're continuing to do those types of activities with him. But he's a little guy, right? He started when he was very young, and he's maybe 7 or 8 right now. So, but when you're dealing with someone who's a little bit older, it just really has to do with what your goal was, right? So if your goal was, let's say, to get the individual to a point where they're social or focused or able to pay attention or able to do a job or able to communicate with peers or able to, whatever the goal was, and when you've met that, you don't really need the professionals who are coming in and working, as long as there's other sources in the environment who are going to, I guess, support that. And as long as you as a parent feel prepared to continue to support that. And I'll take you outside of the world of ABA for a moment, and let's talk about something else, like all children being able to independently get dressed and go swimming, for example. That's a skill that when they're very young, we teach them, and we even put their swim trunks or swim suit on, and we make sure how we're there when they're swimming, and we're very careful, and we teach them, and we hold them, and all that sort of stuff, and we put all those air things on them and so on. But eventually, at some point, they get to a point where they know how to swim, they know how to change, they know how to interact with others and ask for help. And so you let them go to swim camp, or you let them go to school and go swimming, because they're not going to drown. They know how to survive and swim, and there's someone there watching over them, and they can be independent. Now, should a race come up where you need additional support or additional guidance or lessons or something like that, then you can always go back to the professionals and say, hey, this new thing has come up. It's not swimming anymore. Now it's biking. And it's a whole different concept, and I don't know how to do this. And so they can teach you the steps, and they can teach your child the steps, and then you can go on and let the child learn, and you will support them and others in your life and environment. Like, let's say, school will support this and so on. And then the behavior will be supported on an ongoing basis. So that's kind of how I see it. It's not like once the VB-MAP is done, everything is done. Not really. There's a whole lot of stuff like social skills and more abstract concepts, like, being able to understand other people's perspectives, being able to read inferences, being able to tell jokes. Like, very advanced cognitive programs that are not in tests like the VB-MAP. But those are skills that might be necessary for your child. So in my opinion, we push our kids to their utmost abilities, no matter what it is, whether it is learning to communicate on an iPad or it's learning to go to college. Whatever it is, we have to push them, support them, and help them. And ABA is just one. It's a tool in your toolbox. Look at it that way. It's a tool that you can use to teach those things. You can go in and out of it. You can learn all of the techniques yourself and once in a while get guidance. And you can use tools that are online, like, books and various other things that you can access online to help you as well. Does
I'm
that
so
help?
glad you brought up the VB-MAP, because for those of us, like, I've never seen the VB-MAP. I've only heard tell of the VB-MAP. But I know my reaction at this point in my journey when I hear VB-MAP, because I think of that as being all the verbal things, but not those fine-tuned things that I think are so critical for success for everyone. So I will say that when I said I'm so excited for this mom, but with an asterisk, I my awareness, and again, as a person who is not a behavior analyst, I know that we talk all the time on this show about good quality ABA versus ABA, right? And people, I think there are people who are doing good quality ABA, but that they stop short. And I see a lot of kiddos that get graduated out of programs that are 6 or 7, and they're able to converse, they're able to do whatever. But when they get to junior high, they hit the skids because all those things that you just talked about. So if you're with an ABA provider who is just doing the VB-MAP and not doing those executive function skills and the cognitive skills that you're talking about, can you switch to another ABA provider who's going to do that higher level stuff? Or do you go to your ABA provider and say, all right, we've done the VB-MAP, but now can we start? I mean, it's terrible. I don't really want you to wait till then to start working on executive function and perspective taking. But for this mom, if they've done the VB-MAP, can she switch and get that higher level stuff as well?
Yeah, you definitely can. I mean, it's not like it's prohibitive. You certainly can. And if skills was accessible to outside people right now, I would recommend it, because that's really what you want. You just want, and like in the old days before we had built skills, Shannon, I used to recommend to people to look at Tony Atwood's books. And there's a lot of stuff there that if you look at books and online resources, there are others who are helping you go beyond the basics of just language and motor. And you start to look into like very abstract things, which I will tell you guys that, when I started out doing this stuff and when I had left the UCLA program, which is the core of all of this, by the way, ABA comes from LOVOS, which comes from ABA for autism, at least comes from LOVOS, which is UCLA. And when we were doing these types of things, we had no concept at that time. We were developing programs to teach language. We were developing programs to teach eye contact and, compliance and basic skills. We were not yet savvy enough. The world of like, we had Simon Baron Cohen's work out of Cambridge made a huge difference in the world of autism, where he came and showed that individuals on the spectrum have a difficult time with perspective taking, the whole concept of theory of mind. And that was early 90s. And after that, we then developed thousands of other programs for our kids. So there is a lot more that you can teach. And by the way, it doesn't even have to be really in a formal manner. Like your child comes across some difficult situation. I still do this with my kids, and they're all adults in university, and I still find, oh, this is a difficult situation they've never been through, like a breakup, for instance, right? And you help them and you guide them and you give them resources, and that's what you're going to keep doing. And part of doing that in a way where the child is, I still do this, like My child has a difficult day, I'm all over it with support. They have a strong day, I'm all over it with reinforcement. And guess what? That's ABA. What you're doing is you're rewarding the child being strong and all that. So there's some aspect of ABA in every everyday life that we do.
Absolutely. I don't know if Victoria, if you're watching, if you can write in and tell us what the name of the program. There is a separate program that some people use after ABA that just does this piece. Victoria, if you're watching, if you can remind me what the name of that program is, that's available in some places as well. I also want to address one of the things that Dr. Granpeesheh mentioned in passing. For a long time on this program, we've referenced and recommended skills and IBT as great resources for all of you. You may have noticed that we've stopped doing that, and that Dr. Granpeesheh just referenced that they're not taking on any new clients at this time. And so I want to, the people that are already your clients are still being taken care of. But in this COVID time with short staff, the decision was made to not take on any new commercial clients. The professional clients and the clients that already existed are still being supported, but they're not taking new clients right now. We hope that will change in the future, but that's why we're not referencing it, because I don't want to be referencing something that people are like, well, why can't I get it right now? This wretched COVID thing. Let's hope and pray that we all get out of this soon.
Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.